Hey guys, I'm Savannah Lynx. I am currently living in Las Vegas, but I am so excited to be here with Chase in LA today. And on today's episode of Ever Forward Radio, we discuss a little bit about my life from fitness into being an on-stage singer, performer in Las Vegas, and how my mindset philosophy sometimes is my greatest enemy and also my greatest strength.
3, 2, 1.
You're someone that has gone from competing on stage, taking fitness very seriously at the competitive level, and you're no longer doing that. You're now kind of, on stage, singing, performing, entertaining, following a different passion. So I'm really curious, how did you go from being that person on stage to this person on stage?
Well, I've always been the singer. The performer in me was always at the forefront, and I went to college at the behest of my parents. I really wanted to do musical theater and go right into Broadway after high school.
So you were very invested and interested
Yes,
in music.
I loved it. I
Wow,
started singing when I was 8, not on the professional level, but I just loved it, and that's what I knew I wanted to do. But of course, my parents were concerned about how successful
How
or
you gonna make a living out of
viable
this?
that
Yeah.
would be exactly. So I went to college briefly, and I needed just to find myself, because without music as the center point of my life, I really lost it. I wasn't engaged in class. I wasn't excited. I wasn't working out. Just it was kind of the keystone that put my life together and made me realize who I was and who I wanted to be. So I dropped out of college. My parents were very not happy.
Wow, I can imagine.
And yes, and I was unhappy. So I just ran away to LA down the street in Santa Monica. And my parents were like, "We are not supporting this. We're not supporting you. Figure it out." So I had to figure it out. And I was looking up ways to make money, obviously, like Google, how do you make money? And I couldn't find any get rich quick schemes. So the only thing that really came up was to enter and win the first prize for all these
crucial component. Enter and win.
Enter and win in fine print. These fitness competitions. So I entered a bunch of them, and I won every single one. I trained my ass off.
Yeah, were you already competitively fit? Were you already competition ready?
I was coming out of dollar slices of pizza in college in New York. I was not looking good.
So you were very untrained.
I had
the
first competition. I had a month to train, and I fell in love with running outside. Actually, I hadn't been competing. I hadn't been athletic, and because I lived in Santa Monica, I would just go for a run.
Oh yeah.
On the Santa Monica
right
bike
on
path.
the strip, the bath.
Exactly,
Yeah.
And I did that every day, sometimes twice a day. And
So it was running what got you on stage? Is that how you trained?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, up until 4 months ago, I had not picked up a weight
in
my life. I know everybody's gonna.
So
I really did.
You were competing in bikini?
Yeah, I didn't do IFBB. I did more bikini. I don't know how to say. I was in Miss Teen USA when I was younger. I was Miss New Jersey, and then I won Miss Swimsuit USA, Miss Swimsuit USA International.
So you were entering, competing, and winning these physique, these appearance-driven competitions, and the only thing you were doing to train for them was running?
Yeah.
Wow. So you
and diet and crazy diet
yeah,
and push-ups and crunches. That's it. Push-ups, crunches, and running.
How many people listening right now are probably like, F you, Savannah?
No, I'm telling you, it works.
You got some crazy genetics, or that really clicked for you in your body?
I mean, my mom's never. No offense, mom. She's not like the the person who you would consider the most toned in your life. But yeah, I mean, my calves have always been crazy muscular.
Wow.
I gained muscle. I feel like, and this is exactly why I didn't partake in lifting or anything, because I really feel like I have that CrossFit girl body.
So were you maybe afraid that if you did do that,
Yeah,
you would
100%.
kind of
I gain weight like this,
bulk up?
but I also
Okay.
gain muscle really fast,
Okay.
and that's not the look for me. I mean, it works for other people, but
Again, a lot of girls right now, a lot of people listening are like, "F you, Savannah." Like,
we've started this off on a bad foot.
but that's amazing to see. Like you wanted something, you began to put steps towards achieving it, and saw a very, very quick response, especially physically. Like that doesn't happen for a lot of people, and so I'm assuming it did. And then you realize, like, I really like this. I want to keep going.
No, wrong. No,
No?
I think it's possible for anybody when you focus. That was the only thing that I could do. I needed money and I needed a purpose, and I had none. And so every moment was focusing on that for a month. You can do it. You can seriously, if you focus that hard and give 110% of yourself, like no goal is unachievable. It's amazing what the human body and the human mind can accomplish.
Amen. Amen to that. Yeah.
And you know, as someone who was in the military.
Yeah. Through
Army,
the military training, through bodybuilding, I've done it
Exactly.
all. Powerlifting. It's wild. And actually, you hit on a really key concept that I talk about a lot. 4 weeks for me is kind of like that magic number. If you really devote yourself to something, especially in your nutrition and training,
Yes.
you can see really significant improvements. You yourself will notice a lot of change in 30 days.
Exactly.
And that's enough just to keep it
not
going.
just haphazard 30 days. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
eat, breathe, zero. When people are like, oh, I can't lose weight, it's like you don't realize you're doing something wrong because it's a formula. And with 30 days and a formula, it's math. You can't fail.
So walk us through a little bit more of your formula. You had 30 days. That was your timeline. You were running, doing some body weight stuff. Maybe walk us through some of your nutrition. It sounds like you went from pizza college life to what?
I really love spinach. I really love raw spinach, and I really love raw arugula. So
You're in good
crazy.
company. Yeah, I'll take that too.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I eat maybe like 2 boxes of like the $5 giant tubs of spinach raw every day. Like that's just
Wow,
what
no
I
shit.
I know it's disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
bizarre. I've even like Google searched how much spinach is the unhealthy amount because I'm that person. You know what I mean? Like if you eat too many carrots, you turn orange.
Yeah, right.
That's what happened to Donald Trump. It's really a shame.
It's a scientific fact, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So I eat a ton of raw vegetables, and I mean I kind of always wanted to coin this. Like I don't like to listen to people. I don't like group fitness. Do not pass go. I don't like group fitness.
Okay.
And so I just listened to my body. And finding that laser focus, when you find it, like you just know intuitively what to eat and what not to. So lean protein, but maybe like 3-4 times a week.
Okay.
But on the regular, it would be vegetables. Honestly, vegetables and nuts. Like
Who'd have thunk, right? Going back to just whole foods, heavy focus on vegetables,
Egg whites.
lean proteins. Like
Yeah.
that's the bread and butter that isn't like the
bread and
sexiest
butter. I did
nutrition.
not eat.
No,
I did not mention bread and butter.
Non-bread and butter.
But I do love butter, and so also before even keto was like a fad. Oh, I drink olive oil. I eat so much olive
Wow,
oil. So
okay.
I think that's where I was getting most of my calories. Like
True. A lot
it's
of
kind of
healthy fat.
disgusting. So just tons of spinach and olive oil. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I love. It's really weird. Yeah.
It's not weird. It's amazing to me to hear that when people find what works for them, it's just like this magic light bulb that goes off in their head of, oh, I don't have to follow some crazy restrictive diet. Even if I am in a little bit more of a disciplined mode, like a competition, all I need to do is just commit enough time and effort to allow my body to give me that feedback. To be
Totally.
like, yes, more of this, less of that kind of thing,
Right.
to feel it, to see it kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And one of the things that I noticed right away, because I was listening to, I think a little bit too much to, what the fitness community has to say. And you have to just keep in mind, a lot of these people are, myself included sometimes, paid advertisers, or paid influencers.
Yeah.
And protein powder, just even in my head, doesn't make sense. A lot of these sweet treats that should be a treat, people are eating them on the daily. It's synthetic. It's not real. It's gonna gunk up your system. You ever leave a bottle of protein powder with water in your car for a couple days?
Oh, I do, and then I toss it. Yeah, it's done.
But that's in
Yeah.
that's in your system. And I just don't feel like real food works that way. there goes all my possible sponsorships, but I stand by it.
So then you stepped on stage, you won.
Yes.
And what did you do next? Did you realize like
I entered the next
here?
one. Yeah, I entered the next one and I won that one. And then, but every time I tried to turn it into like a singing thing because they asked you to come back.
Yeah.
And so I would be like, okay, well, I'll come back, but I have to sing. And so like, what business do I have singing Broadway show tunes at a freaking beauty pageant? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But I had to do it. And so my calling was always, I was always drawn to singing, always. And so after about like a good 5 years in the fitness community, but also, I mean, I kind of like got stale and not excited about it anymore. I got a job as a cashier at a juice bar over there.
Okay.
I was super upset and gaining weight. And I mean, and I say gaining weight, not that that's a bad thing, but gaining weight was a reflection of my mood. I wasn't motivated to go to the gym in the morning. I wasn't motivated to eat healthily. It was just kind of like, why?
If I'm hearing correctly, that's because you were getting success with something, but you couldn't actually kind of like do the thing that you wanted to do truly.
I wasn't singing. Exactly.
Okay,
yeah. It was always like, okay, well, you can be very successful in this one area, but it's not going to be the thing you really want. And so one day I was in Santa Monica in my apartment, and my girlfriend sent me like an Instagram message, and there was an audition the next day for a show in Vegas. And I said, I had never auditioned up until that point because I was so fearful. There's so, like, I am a living example of how fear inhibits a person who is more than capable of doing something from actually trying. The first step to me is always the hardest. The first step that you take to get into the gym is harder than when you're seeing a little bit of progress and you're feeling like, wow, I can do this. The first step just seems monumental. So actually, this one time I was like, I can't run away from this. So I booked a flight, auditioned the next day, got it, and then and that was the show at the Luxor. And then the next month I got a call and was asked to audition for the show at the Cosmo, and then I got that and moved. So it's amazing. The first step, it's like all these doors that you could walk through, and it's like, well, I could do it, but I don't know. I'm not ready. And it's just like, it's just right there. It's waiting for you. So,
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
What would you say to the state of the world right now? I'll make a statement. I think a lot of people are still living in fear for a lot of things.
Oh my gosh.
And we all have fears, right? But fears going into something like a global pandemic, and now as we're seemingly coming out of it, we have those natural human fears, the fears that have been with us our whole life, our jobs, our relationships, our physique.
Right.
Now you take the last year, and a lot of people have had so many new fears added or fears compounded. Like, how would you really kind of address the situation of people probably living in a new type of fear right now?
I think I completely agree with you. And I think something that you kind of inspired me to say is it's the difference between the fear that we kind of all have, like I'm afraid to sing, I'm afraid to public speak, I'm afraid to ask that girl out, something like that. That's intrinsic and that's personal. But now I feel like we are being taught new fears and being given a communal fear and well kind said. Of in a human consciousness way, but I think it's because we're listening to other people. We're listening to so many people who are telling us it's not safe, it's not right, don't do this, don't do that. There are so many rules right now and I don't like them. It was really hard to, like I just and the sense like. And still, I don't get it. I go on a plane the other day. Everybody's spaced out, but then we're crammed together in a tin can for 6 hours. Where's the logic behind that? I went to dinner last night, right, by myself. Okay, I am like, walking into the restaurant like a normal person. But then they're like, oh no, you have to dine over here. Dining over here, there's a tent with heaters and just two like ventilation areas. It's a full-blown indoor restaurant outside. And we really have come full circle, but it's like the fear and the fear mongering and whatever kind of power that people have over this, I really don't know like whose agenda this is, but people are sheep and they're listening. And I feel like we've just been beaten down to the place where it's a lot easier to be told what to do than to decide for yourself what it is right for you to do.
Excellent.
Long-winded. Sorry,
Yeah,
I know.
No, not at all. This is a long format piece of content, so you take all the one you need.
Okay.
What do I want to say there? Do you think that's a great? I love that perspective. Your mindset around fear is very, very clear to me. It sounds like it's clear to you. Do you think that you have that clarity around understanding fear and navigating it now because of your history of stepping through it? Do you think you would have had this kind of clarity if you hadn't have stepped out against those fears or made that phone call, went to that audition? Like, did it take breaking those fear barriers for you to have that clarity now?
Yes, but to be totally transparent with you, I think that in the last 4 months, I've done the most work.
Okay. Like what?
I tend to get depressed, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm an artist and I'm out. I get this high when I'm on stage, or I get this high when I win. And my life has kind of been, actually, I've never thought this through, but my life has always been like a series of like short-lived victories, and then now what? The now what period, because what I've done hasn't really sustained any like long-term growth or movement in my life. So
Kind of like a quick peak, quick valley kind of thing. Okay.
Yes. So very roller coaster, and it just kind of destroys me. Like I would come off stage. I mean, unfortunately, my the residency that I had at the Cosmo is now closed indefinitely, but
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
It'll come back.
It won't.
Yeah.
But
you'll come back.
I'll come back. I never left. I mean, yeah. Sorry, the applause distracted me. Where was I going with this?
The fear, it never left you.
Oh yeah. So, it was great that I had done it, but then I kind of rested on that. Well, I did it.
Right.
I don't have to do it again. And so I think that this year, because we closed down January 6th. And it's like, now what? Like, I really have to start fighting and putting some effort into this, or I'm just going to be like sad and just mediocre and really not thriving. And that to me is worse than being in a really bad space. I would rather be down at the bottom than just lukewarm. I just can't stand that vanilla life. Like I want a story, or something. So I had one of the biggest challenges of my life that I feel kind of catapulted me into this whole new perspective. I had my own show that I wrote and
That's right.
put on
in
beginning of March.
Yeah.
And just like we talked about, okay, so I was avoiding it, right? They told me, okay, how's March 5th and 6th? I was like, okay, cool, great. It's January 12th. I've got more than enough time. I procrastinate. I go to Miami, not thinking about it. All of a sudden, beginning of February creeps up and I am screwed. I am so nervous. Oh my God, what was I thinking? I can't do this. I'm thinking of ways to tell them something's
how to get out of it.
How to get out of it. So I just said, okay, you'll get out of it 100%. This is how I talk to myself through it. But for the next 2-3 days, just try. Just pretend to try. But I knew in my head, I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to do it. After 3 days, I was like, okay, I can see this maybe happening. Another 3 days, I was totally invested, excited. I mean, complete paradigm shift. And
just giving yourself a little bit of momentum.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even like a way out mentally. And so I feel like I've learned a lot of mental tricks for me. Just do this really helps. Like make your bed. Notice the signs that when you're, military guy, notice the signs.
Which, by the way, now I hate making my bed.
Oh.
I put it off.
Oh, you.
Maybe I'm fine. It's just like a.
Where's your bed upstairs? I'm gonna go grade you.
It's done. I just hate doing it.
Yeah. So that's kind of been my mantra, and also very helpful for me. And I hope this helps somebody else, because when I get sad, I get really sad, and I become extremely introverted. I don't want to leave the house. I just don't want to talk to anybody, and what I've started doing is not allowing myself to sit in that for too long and just truly powering through powering through and becoming determined, dogged even, to say, oh my God, what else can I do to get myself out of this emotion? And to have that kind of sense of urgency, because the longer you sit in it, the more likely it is to deepen, worsen, and kind of just keep you stagnant.
I love how you said, you didn't say I didn't allow, or I don't allow myself to sit in it. I don't allow myself to sit in it for too long. And I think that's a key difference that I want someone to pick up on, because personally speaking, that's where I made a lot of, I'll say, mistakes and suppression of like not allowing myself to feel certain things at all.
Right.
Of sadness, depression, of just anything other than life is great and good and amazing.
Yes,
you try to just like push it down. But I personally think that's a mistake. And I can look back and see in my life where that was a disservice to myself. And that's such a great little like difference there that I think you made of, I didn't allow myself to feel it for too long. Like, give yourself permission to feel it and go through it.
Do you listen to Jocko?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so I picked this up from him, and actually my therapist said this to me. And by the way, I have a doctor for everything, and I believe in knowing exactly what's going on. I have a mental doctor, a physical doctor, like everything.
Good for you. That's a great example.
By
of
the way,
health
just to
there,
go do that. But Jocko says, take a sick day, just one day. Allow yourself to eat the ice cream one day. Allow yourself to sleep in, to be a wreck. But then tomorrow, you better be up at 4 a.m.
Get after it.
Get after it. Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. And I think that is so helpful. And for me, that has been key. Okay, you know what? Because when you try and half-ass a half-ass day, it's going to be like a 3-day long, not even satisfying day.
Yeah.
I want to go extremely into the I'm a piece of shit, I'm sad way. And then the next day, you know what? It's like I got it out of the way. You just got to do something different instead of like, well, I'll do a little bit of work. And then you just have that procrastination feeling. But acknowledging the feeling it, and then tossing it to the side and doing something better is very useful.
Well said. Well said. Have you found yourself having, it's probably a personal question, have you found yourself having more of those days this past year? Because I just, getting to know you more and more through through the gram over the last several months, like I see you and I see where you are in your profession and where you live. And I just have to imagine, like, I know here in LA doing what I do, and where people live all over the world and doing what they do, life has changed a lot. And someone like yourself that relies on getting out into the world and performing and connection, like, did that translate into more of those days for you this past year? And if so, like, how did you get through it? Was it just
no? And can I be totally honest?
Please.
I was working since for the most of the pandemic. I was in one of the open shows.
Great. Okay.
Since I've been off work, and I love my job. That was like the best part of my week, 100%. But I've been off since January 6th, and I am no longer reliant on those things. I have chosen to become my own source of happiness and the person who determines my mood. Because for instance, when I first started singing, I was very, very, I would look to the audience to tell me how I did, rather.
Validation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than knowing that was my best show and none of them even listened. That's okay because that's intrinsically mine and mine alone, and I know what standard I hold myself to. And so to live my life in that way, it's very Randian. I don't know if you're like an Ayn Rand fan.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay,
Who?
So she's an author. The Fountainhead is what I was listening to on my drive over here.
What? That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, it should.
Okay, I'll take a look.
You must have taken a nap throughout all of all of your literature courses if it doesn't sound familiar.
Just calling me out, everybody. I'm getting a little bit of a light coming on, but
yeah. Okay, check those bulbs, babe. But yeah, so she practices something called or coins something that is called Objectivism, and it's really just I'm probably botching this, but like the truth of something cannot be persuaded or influenced by an outside source. And then again, to tie it all in with fear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To know what I'm fearful of, but to be able to know that there's a formula for me that I must create. It's up to me to create it, to get my way out of it. Not this one type fits all. Everybody be afraid to go like this, to hold hands, to share a kiss. You know what I mean? Like because of this. Yeah, we're doing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that that's also what is very, very deeply wrong with everybody right now is they're listening to this. It's like, why isn't anybody saying that's not true? That's not true. So.
What has been like your opinion of seeing all of this to people, not only in the outside world, but I guess the question I'm really trying to ask is, I think this last year also has been a great time of reflection on our life, excuse me, and the lives of others in our life, our friends, our peers, our community. And it's, I think, revealed a lot of things about people that maybe we ignored, we knew was there, but we chose to ignore for whatever reason.
Like what?
Well, I think people have been showing up very differently over the last several months last year. I think we've been seeing a lot of true colors of people. I think we've been seeing a lot of willingness to stay invested in other people's lives despite being, on lockdown or whatever. Whether it's, call it through fear of whatever's been going on, or just like when people get the ability to be by themselves and choosing to stick to themselves only, and kind of like severing that connection. Does that make any sense?
So if I understand correctly, people are seeking out those relationships still, or they're not?
I think some people are and some people aren't. And we were in, like, I've had relationships and friendships over the last year that have become immensely more important and valuable and solidified and connected and true. And others that just kind of fizzled. And I do think it is a lot because of the fear mindset that a lot of people have had this year. And I'm not trying to knock, you do whatever you need to do, right? Your safety, your life, your livelihood is all important to you, and you do what you got to do. But even still, there are things you can do to stay invested and stay connected with people from 6 feet apart or 6,000 miles apart, And I think just a lot of people haven't.
Yeah, because it takes effort. And I think this whole pandemic situation and just the climate of everything, it's like, why bother? Why bother? And also when you're not working or working out, so many people are gaining weight. Their lifestyle has been uprooted. So they're not even making an effort with themselves. Making an effort with somebody else is just even further from that.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. How's the relationship with yourself right now? You've shared a lot.
Great. So good. So good.
You
Me
shared
and
a lot of your
myself
story.
love each other so much right now. But on that, I mean, it's funny and it's true sometimes.
But I'm glad you own that.
But
Seriously,
I'm also my worst critic. And I'm also somebody who struggles with it on a daily basis. It's so
What, you
crazy.
mean you're a human being?
Yeah, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the dichotomy truly of being my biggest fan and my biggest critic, and a mean critic at that. I'm very, very hard on myself, impossibly so. I've made so many mental strides to overcome that, and it's daily. Like even before I got here, there's a lull. So okay, for instance, I don't like that we started at 1. I should have said 11 because I'm an early bird. I've been up since 5.
Oh, okay. Let
And
me know. Shit.
I went to the gym for like 2 hours and, packed up my stuff, like journaled, got my coffee. And then it's like 10:30.
And now what? Yeah.
And that kills me. That kills me. But I've been learning to sit within it and be flexible and
Good for you.
and not criticize myself. And then because I think that's when the voice comes, you know what I mean? When you start to doubt yourself, or like my energy's not going to be great. That's
Right,
kind of what I
yeah.
started saying. My energy's not going to be as good as it could have been.
Because you're probably comparing yourself to other encounters at a different time when
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not true. That's a lie that we tell ourselves. That's a fear that's based off a fallacious notion of, what the truth is. And so that's why we believe it, because it's kind of put in this package that looks like the truth, but it's not.
Do you think it's important? Would you say for yourself or the person listening right now, is it important for us to strive to be our greatest raving fan, but also our strongest critic? Like, can those two live harmoniously? Can they mold the life that we want for ourselves? Is it even possible? Would you recommend it?
There's this one quote that comes to mind. I forget who it was. Some big famous guy. I was taking a nap in English class during this one too, but he said that the definition of insanity or genius. I can't remember. We got to look this up.
Is doing the same thing over and over. And
No.
Okay, then it's not
Is
insanity.
holding two opposing ideas in the mind at the same time and having them not be ironic or conflicting.
Then it's not insanity, because I've heard the definition of
it must be
insanity
genius,
is definitely genius.
Yeah.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over.
No,
expecting
this is a different
result.
quote.
Okay.
Because Albert Einstein said that
Right.
one.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm really botching this one, guys.
Some internet troll is going to correct
Yeah.
us there
Please
for-
let us know. But the idea of or holding two opposing ideas in the mind at the same time is whatever. The Savannah quote, the Savannah version of that is, I do think that it is possible.
Yeah.
I think it is a struggle, but I also think that it kind of having such intense notions that are competing with each other kind of balances you out.
I agree.
And I think you actually reach a better, more elevated spot because of it.
Yeah.
It makes you crazy. I mean, I'm nuts, y'all, but but
Well,
yeah.
I mean, think about it. If you have that duality going,
Yes.
If you're choosing to feed, we're really going crazy with the analogies here.
Loving
I think
this.
it's a Native American.
You feed a wolf.
Yeah, you have two wolves fighting in your mind at all times.
I
And
just feed them both spinach. They shut up.
which one wins? The one that you feed.
Yes.
And I think it's really good to kind of have, or at least entertain the idea, to hypothesize. What if I did entertain both? What if I tried to keep both alive? What good could possibly come if I have, and it's really hard to say this, and I'm probably going to butcher exactly what I'm feeling, but doubt, fear, criticism, constructive criticism,
This
but
is
then
exactly what
also
you were
like
saying
hype, yes, go,
This is what you were
yeah.
saying before, though, when you tend to push things down.
Exactly.
This is exactly
Yeah,
it. You're
yeah.
feeding both by allowing it to speak. And so that wolf, when you starve something, it's going to get angry and it's going to actually come back and bite you even harder later on. So I think that entertaining both, because I'm in LA, I'll use the shadow self and all those very fun
You
words.
are a local.
I am no. I never claimed that life. The life chose me. But if you deny yourself some things, just like, okay, so you're too stringent on your diet, you're gonna go binge for 2 weeks.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so you can be extreme, I think, on both ends. But just as long as it's done in a timely manner. Work hard for 30 days, like work your ass off, your absolute best, and then play around for 4 days. You know what I mean? That's a balance.
And it's funny you say that, actually, because I literally just came off of a 4-day fun trip.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Like, we always, I think, underestimate, or we too often underestimate the power of that reset, the power of the yang to the yin, the hot to the cold, like we're just talking about. And there's even a way to measure it. I use this Whoop activity tracker. And
It looks like a seatbelt. What is it?
actually, it kind of does a little
It
bit.
really looks like an airplane seatbelt.
So it's a physical activity tracker, and it will measure activity, workouts, sleep, heart rate variability, respiratory heart rate, recovery, strain, sleep were kind of its main things. And I purposefully wore it during, and I was in Jamaica, I was in the sun. I was like, I'm going to get a kind of a jacked up tan line, but I really want to see, because I wear it all the time during daily life and workouts. Let me see what happens when I wear it during vacation.
Right.
My resting heart rate dropped significantly. My heart rate variability increased significantly, which is a measure of good cardiovascular health and performance.
No kidding.
Because I was in play.
Yeah.
I was feeding the other wolf.
Right.
I checked my email I think 3 times. I'm not perfect, but
Yeah, you didn't answer me. Ever. No.
Savannah's like, I thought we were here. But I mean, I was chilling. I was resting. I was with good people. I was in the sun. I was just in play and chill. And my body responded to that. And that's just, to me, it was a great reminder of, it kind of finally gave me permission to not feel bad for taking time off.
Yes.
It gave me permission to oh, maybe I should actually schedule things like this more. Like you're saying, work your ass off for 30 days. Give yourself a parameter. Just go. But then go the opposite. So that you can stay in that kind of middle.
I've been doing that, and during the pandemic, I said no to myself in so many ways. I said no to myself, well, I'm just gonna stay here. Like, this is good, this is safe. And my life started shrinking in on me. Whereas now, like I was just telling you, I've always had such a huge fear to drive from Vegas to LA. I've never done it. I just was so panic stricken about it. And
you even said that publicly. It was in like a recent post of yours.
And so I think conquering that fear, but also, coming here to do this with you and having a meeting last night, that's a great way to balance both the excitement, the thrill, some quality time alone. But it is that balance kind of, instead of that go. I mean, I still went to the gym this morning, you know what I mean? Just hitting all your marks, but doing it in a different way, I think, so that you don't feel burned out. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. What has been, it sounds like you've had quite a few lessons over the last year, last couple months.
Honestly, this has been the most transformative 4 months. I feel like I'm dialing it in, but the last 2 years have really been me taking control of the life that I want to live.
We're kindred spirits in that. I give so much credit to the last 2 years of my life.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
work.
Oh, yes, yes.
I was going to ask you, like, what do you think has been the most valuable lesson you have learned recently?
Oh my God, 100%.
Or think you're learning right now?
I literally wrote it down this morning.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah. It's, oh no, I forgot. Oh no. It's, that I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to, 100% within the realm of possibility, 100,000%. Because when I'm in that flow, when I tap into that zone, I have more energy. I'm more excited. I'm more fun to be around, and I have more fun. And everything just seems to go into this perfect homeostasis. And it's when I put my effort into my mind and myself and my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going next? What do you want most out of your
going
life
home,
right now?
and maybe to lunch, 'cause I'm hungry. No, but gosh,
you've been learning so much. Like, what are next steps? How are you applying this? Where are you going with it?
So what I hate about the entertainment business, and it's really crushing to me, I'm extremely on time. I'm very prompt, and I keep my word, unless we're dating, and then maybe, I don't know. Not currently. And then, but in the entertainment business, it's very difficult to find people that aren't just complete bullshit, I guess. And, even the people who aren't, I just work in a different way. I'm not, I'm more like, I guess, military style about it. Like, let's do this, and let's accomplish this, instead of like, oh, let's feel it out, but that's a big part of it. And so I've got a lot of irons in the fire, but to be honest, I don't know if even the fire's stoked. But so that could be incredibly deterring, especially in this time of being uncertain, unsure. But the one thing that I will not accept myself to be uncertain or unsure about is my worth, my value, and my dedication to my craft, and where I want to go and take this. And like my mom always says, if you always stay ready, you never have to get ready. And the opportunity will come. The more surface interactions that I have, the higher my probability of success. And I'm having a great time. I'm happier than ever. You know what I mean? I would like to see more money come in than just unemployment. But
yeah, I'm sure.
But I'm having faith, and I'm staying the course.
Who would you love to collaborate the most with? You're in the entertainment industry. I'm sure you've got somebody on your radar. Like, what would be a big project?
Mark Ronson is such an amazing
songwriter.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
I would love to write with him. That would be incredible. Who else? Okay, don't make fun of me. I love Christina Aguilera.
Oh, legend.
I listened to her stripped album, and I've said this so many times. Even recently, I say this all the time. I sound like a broken Christina Aguilera record. But her stripped album, I listened to the whole thing in its entirety on the way over here. I listened to the whole thing in its entirety when I run. I love that album so much. So I'd love to work with her. I would love to work with her. And oh my God, yeah, that would be a dream.
That's actually a unique angle. So I'm I'm not musically inclined. Like I like.
You have a great speaking voice. I feel like you would be. Give me a little.
You don't want to hear me sing. That's
I feel like you could do like country, like a Trace Adkins. Like,
oh, I could probably pull that
I know
off.
you could.
My like,
we're going to karaoke. We're going.
my Virginia roots would shine through for sure.
You got this in you.
I could do that. But like I love music and I pull so much from music. I use it throughout my day. For me personally, whenever I hear a song, no matter what it is, I always like the actual music comes secondary for me. The lyrics hit me first. Like music is a very, very strong resonance for me. Like the words play at my heartstrings, and I connect deeply and quickly to. If I connect, I connect very deeply and quickly to a song.
I think I'm the opposite.
Really,
think,
the energy, the music, the kind of tonality.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, and then also Stevie Wonder.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You got some legends in your hat. Absolutely,
a little bit.
I think nobody would say no to, and nobody would say no to those.
Well,
for
they
sure.
shouldn't.
But when someone who is a singer and entertainer, and then I was saying like someone like myself who just pulls so much from it.
What's your favorite song right now?
My favorite song right now. Ooh.
Just right now. You could change it in 5 minutes.
I got a few on rotation right now. I'm listening a lot to Cascade on Your Mind. It's kind of like a little like Boots and Pants. Like,
yeah.
But that song actually was one that got me through days, weeks of lockdown last summer. New song came out, and talk about getting in the flow of things. It like completely just like aligned me, and I was dead set on work.
No
and
kidding.
just I put songs whenever I find something
Cascade.
like that.
That's interesting.
Cascade, yeah. The lyrics are actually really good too. There's not a whole lot, of course. It's like an EDM kind of song, but it's just so subtle, and it hit me like a ton of bricks.
What are the lyrics?
Oh fuck, you're gonna put me on the spot. It's I wish that I would have known I was on your mind. I was on your mind.
I was on your mind.
It's
and 50 more times.
Probably something like that.
Yeah.
But it's only like a couple
almost
lines.
like a chant, like a rhythmic kind of pulsing chant.
Basically, and like it puts me into flow. So I want to pick your brain.
Yeah.
Someone who is a singer and entertainer. Like when you're singing and performing, does the same thing happen for you that maybe falls on the ears of the listener? Because I mean, it's very, very powerful.
I mean, I hope so. One of the things that I made a conscious choice, like or my heart made the choice for me, is I love live theater. I love doing it live. Like recording in a booth doesn't thrill me the way every time you do a performance, it's totally different. It's a different energy. It's a different mood.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult as a working singer realizing that, oh my God, every time isn't going to be the greatest. There's going to be days that I don't feel great and I don't want to go. But how great is it that I get to do this? And so I've always found it most important to just rest on my love of singing. I love singing, and I love singing. Singing the song actually makes me get out of the mood or happiest.
Okay.
And so it's the act of doing it that I can totally transform my day. Like sometimes I'll just force myself to sing something happy. Actually, I love Whitney Houston and I love disco music. That's my I have a Let's Get Happy playlist. It's all like Donna Summer. And like,
who doesn't? Yeah.
Yeah, and there, I mean, just singing that, and there's just no way to get around it. But to get me in the flow, this is very interesting, is I listen to music with zero lyrics. So I'm very different from you. I think it's because then I'm able to not criticize or be there. You know what I mean? It's just music where my ego or like how I could sing it is gone. So I listen to a lot of classical.
I do that as well. Actually, that was something I did when I was living downtown and lockdown first happened. It was a really, really wild time to be in a major metropolitan city where there was nothing going on. It was like a post-apocalyptic feeling kind of thing.
Yes.
And I went through I go through these musical phases, and I think for about like 2 weeks, I take morning walks every morning, and I would get up early, go on a walk through downtown, and it was just nothing, dead silence.
Wow.
And I would listen to classical music.
Oh, that's great.
And I found this.
You're like in a soundtrack.
I know, that's exactly what it was. And so I would put on my earbuds, my AirPods, and I'd listen to this classical music playlist I kind of curated. And then I would just walk, and it was so.
You would be an AirPods guy.
It was. It took years. I finally had to get the AirPods Pro because they're the only ones that stick in my ears. I
like these big clunky headphones.
Weird ear holes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
See, I mean, hello, look at me. I'm wearing the headset now.
Yeah.
But it was just so. And I guess what I'm realizing now and talking about it is there are so many different ways that we can work through fear, that we can become empowered, that we can find
music,
hope.
through exercise, through diet. Diet is huge. Diet
Fuels everything.
If my diet is crap, I'm crap. And I hate to say it, but it seriously is. And I wish I didn't have such an attachment to it, but I honestly feel that I cannot be my best self unless I am absolutely on track with my diet. Maybe a little bit, like here and there, like a nice bite of dessert. You know what I mean? But but for the most part.
What does your diet look like now? I mean, you're not in competition mode anymore, right?
I'm in competition mode all year round. I love it. Yeah.
So what does a year-round competition mode diet look like for you?
Okay, so
besides the 10 pounds of spinach every day.
So I don't like breakfast, and I don't like breakfast foods. My boyfriend and I actually agree on that. We don't like breakfast foods.
I could eat breakfast food all day, every day. I love it.
That's why you're wrong. So no, I like dinner for breakfast.
Okay.
Dinner for lunch, dinner for dinner. But I don't eat breakfast anyway. So I just have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then I'll work out, and then afterwards I'll maybe have like a small box of spinach, raw, just plain. I'll just eat it all the time. And then I'll probably around 5 o'clock make some chicken or fish. I made Chilean sea bass the other day, really good,
so good.
with a ton of butter. I mean, or olive oil or coconut oil, like so much fat on it, which is kind of keto, but that's just what I like.
Yeah,
and then I'll have like another arugula, tomato, cucumber kind of thing with olive oil, Parmesan, and then. Do
you track anything? Do you count macros, calories?
Never.
Nothing.
And I don't track how much I run, and I don't track how long I just do it. It's the one thing that I just let myself do it, and it's good. It balances out. Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever kind of shift back into more of fitness, Savannah, like more hardcore?
I've never been fitter
stuff?
than I am now. Actually, this is like my peak. I would love to do a competition.
Really? Okay.
I just don't want to be orange.
Back,
I just don't want to be I can't do the tan, and I'm not doing extensions. So I'll do it my way. And I know I'll be a winner because I love doing it. But the tan, yo. Maybe I could be like somebody who ushers in a new phase, you know?
You should go the opposite. You should try to get as pale as possible.
Why didn't I think of that?
Competition, absolutely,
yes. Oh, I love it. I'll definitely stand out.
Which you would have to work harder because my whole understanding is the tan helps the muscles like pop. You can see more definition. You can see striations.
Or I'll raise you. I could look like a marble statue. I mean, Michelangelo didn't have a problem making,
they were pasty as hell.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody, what's it, David?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks good. So if he could do it, so can I.
Yeah, it would just be like that next level. You have to be so much at your best that you can't even have a tan help you out.
You have, like chiseled from a block of marble. Exactly.
Well, you've sounded like someone who in your past and over the last year and just everything that you're becoming aware of now, like you just said it, is you're going to do it your own way. Has that been kind of like a philosophy you've realized or you've always had, or just something that is just you to the core?
I've had it in moments, and my moments where I lose this effervescence, this spice for life, this excitement, this belief in myself is when I listen to other people. And a lot of good, and I'm not talking about bad people. I'm talking about you got to watch the good people in your life who want what's best for you. My parents, nobody could love me more on earth. They thought it was better for me not to pursue music, which ended up being the worst thing possible. There's a lot of people in your life who, they want to save you from heartache, or they think that this is the best route for you. But when you listen to yourself and you come to know yourself, you really do always know what's best for you. I mean, within reason, but
sure.
You know what I mean? But you also have to be flexible and listen when it's like, oh, you know what? That's course correction, but not a total overhaul. Your mission statement is yours alone.
I agree. Well said.
Thanks.
And it's very much in alignment with the whole philosophy and premise that I have, and that's, Ever Forward Radio is based on those two words, ever forward, live a life ever forward. It's bringing attention and awareness to these key areas of our life that move us forward, that are idling, in a homeostasis kind of level, or just, what do we need to do to maintain? What do we need to do to level up? who are the people, places, things, and around us that are propelling us or holding us stagnant, you know? So my final question for you is, I ask all of my guests here is, I'm curious, like I know what it means to me, and that's my philosophy. What does it mean to you? How would you say you live a life ever forward?
Oh, duh.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Like when you just hear those words,
Yeah, let me
ask
think
that
about
question. How does that fall on you?
Well, first, oh my gosh, first I'm thinking, I'm so sorry. I had his
No, don't
ex-boyfriend who was like the surfer dude, and he had ever forward tattooed on his chest. I kid you not.
No shit. I have it right here on my arm.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a family phrase. My dad used to say the whole time.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So I've always
Oh,
been
wow. We're going to have to
But
cut
I'm
this
gonna
interview.
No. Okay. So what does it mean to me aside from that?
Aside from the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's a first.
Hopefully last. It means never abandoning the best vision of yourself. I'm better than I thought I ever could be, but there's now a new version. And always, I'm never going to reach it. But that is the joy of life. I think that is the purpose of life, is to always be hunting or fighting or wanting something, because when you have it, when you're at the top, it's just boring. So always striving to get to that next level. That white chiseled marble level.
Getting to the most pristine, pasty version of yourself.
Yes, exactly. In so many words.
Well, you're hysterical. You're amazing. You're beautiful.
Great. It's so good to meet you.
Such a spice.
I can't believe I just met you.
I know. First time in life.
Yes.
It's wild. Yeah. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad your trip to
too.
LA is treating you well.
Yep.
And thank you for making time for
you.
us.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I probably did. Whatever. Well, deal with it.
Deal with it.
But also follow me.
But also, check it out. Go to Vegas. See the show in Vegas.
All right, we got to cut it because I'm just striking out.